It's the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Myron. We are joined today by a very special guest, Justin Dutton, creator of Unstitched. Oh my gosh, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Hitting the home stretch on the whole Unstitched era. Well, not era, but production.
It's production. All time flies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, good gracious.
Now already now that the era of Unstitched will hopefully go on for years, but you know.
There you go.
Depends if fans want to keep supporting it or not, but I can tell you on chapter 2 we are already 15 pages in.
Ooh, nice. Making some good progress there.
Yeah.
And do you already have? Well, actually, all right. Before we go into that, since it's been some time since you last stopped by the channel, would you refresh everyone on your quote-unquote origin story? How you got interested in comics to begin with?
All right. So there was one day at a school field trip at the science lab. We were all just kind of like checking things out, and they were showing us all these spiders that there was like radioactive and genetic, and one was missing. And then all of a sudden I felt something tickle my hand, and I swatted, and it bit me. I mean, wait, no, never mind. That ain't my origin story. My bad. I got confused. My parents really put me in a spaceship and waved off, and they sent me off on an unknown planet, and I was adopted by some farmers as a whole planet genocide. Wait, no, that ain't my origin story either.
You were adopted by farmers instead of like a couple of in suburbia.
Well, I mean, I live out in the country, so I guess I'm not actually too far from the Superman origin story. Hello, Arch, Gothic Arch.
How's it going, man? Welcome. Hail.
Indeed. Now my origin story is more or less I went to school for animation and game design in college. Unfortunately, due to migraines, I couldn't really do every assignment without missing days. So I knew like I couldn't do a career in this. It was literally killing me. So I dropped out. I kind of retooled that knowledge because, again, it was animation and game design, so we obviously had to learn story design and everything. And back in college, you know, I finally moved out of the country, though moved back into the country. I was in the city, and I was like, oh, snap, comic shops. That's cool. Comics are a thing still. And I got back into comics, and I was like, oh, I love this. And I more or less just kind of repurposed what I learned in animation into comics, and voila, that's more or less it. And if you want the origin story for Unstitched, when I finally saved up a good amount of money, I was telling like my sisters, like, yeah, I'm finally gonna write a comic. It's gonna be alright. I got the money. I'm gonna save up. I got a script. I'm gonna get an artist. And she was like, oh, well, you know, you have a niece that's 1 year old, and she really likes like books being read to her. She's almost 2. You're really cool if you made a comic for her. I have all these scripts and none of them are kid friendly. They're all like super violent and like balls to the wall action, and it's like, but it'd be really cool though if you wrote something for your niece. I don't think you can. What do you mean you don't think I can? You heard me. I don't think you can. Challenge accepted. So more or less, I then remembered again. Big fan of animation and animated movies. And the things that really like drove me and inspired me to even just be a storyteller was like Don Bluth films. Because they were kid friendly, but they had a lot of grit to them. Especially if you rewatch like All Dogs Go to Heaven, like that movie could not come out today. You had dogs gambling, you had them smoking, drinking, you had murder like twice, attempted murder, like Charlie gets hit by a car after like getting wasted, and it was like not just like an accidental car hit. No. They like blindfolded him. It was like, there's a prize, it's coming. Down the hill, car in neutral, runs him over. What? Crazy.
Yeah, I don't
when he
see
comes
that.
back to life, they're like, let's kill him with a Tommy gun now. Like, this is a kids movie? This is a kids movie. So not saying we have a Tommy gun in Unstitched, but you know, but that and like Tim Burton movies of like Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, the cute, creepy aesthetic. I really love that, and I more or less wanted to combine those things together, and that's kind of how Unstitched came.
So
a challenge for my sister.
So you weren't planning to simply take one of your existing ideas that's real violent and make that into the children's book, or the most violent children's book ever?
I actually did Frankenstein one idea. I was writing a story with a friend of mine at the time. He did kind of drop out of like doing art because he's doing his own animation stuff. Or trying to. But I had an idea of a little girl that was afraid and had an overactive imagination. And I used that as well as like my niece's personality for Unstitched. And it was originally going to be more or less like the Max.
Oh, okay.
Where, like the Dreamtime world and the real world is very blend and fuzzy and confusing, and you're like, you don't know if what's seeing is real or what is really just kind of like, is he just crazy? Except, and on Stitch, like the little girl Eleanor, who's named after my niece, does have an overactive imagination and does have like moments where she plays as like a princess. And like that's a really big part of the story because she reads like fairy tale stories. Well, my adult version was going to be called the Tragic Tale of the Brave Little Princess. And the Brave Little Princess, I kind of took that name. I put it as the storybook that Eleanor reads in Unstitched. But that was going to be of like on a stormy night, power goes out, 2 burglars try to break in, single mom get shot, kid sees, and then like the whole thing was going to be like at the therapist where she's kind of like, she doesn't know how to process it and uses her fairy tale. So like the detective trying to figure out would have been like the grumpy knight. She would have been the brave little princess. You would have like this ominous voice of like a wizard, and it would have been like later on, like the wizard's actually the therapist, but you would have seen her like in the orphanage as well. And anytime like she got picked on or a stressful situation, her mind would fracture and she would kind of like escape and like things would twist into the fantasy world. That was originally going to be my story, and I took a lot of that. Obviously, I had to change it. Like, I can't have a mom dying with like a kid sing. And I did change a lot of that, but this aspects of that story that is in Unstitched. But yeah, like I said, it would have been nice to do something that I already had a script for, but I'm glad I took the challenge. Unstitched has been really fun to write. In fact, I'm doing edits on the third one already and plotting things out for the fourth and fifth.
Wait a minute. All right. Did it take long to come up with the idea for Unstitched? I mean, yeah, your sister kind of planted the seed in your mind to come up with something appropriate to 1 and 2 year olds. But was it one of those things where you like had to sit down spend a weekend just poring over ideas and stuff like that? Uh-oh. Where did he go? Where did he go? Did he literally just drop? Just like that? I don't hear any beeping. There he is. All right. What the bippity boppity boo?
I don't know. Like I put my hand down and I hit something on the keyboard, and the next thing I know, everything just exited out. What happened? What did I do? I was just resting. I just put my hand down to rest it, and I clicked something, and everything. I was like, "Oh, that's not good." Everything just disappeared. The question you were asking was, did it take long to cut out?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Did it take long to come up with the whole concept, the story behind Unstitched? Or like, did you have to spend a weekend poring over ideas? Like, where do you even begin?
Well, all right. So I knew.
I get you were influenced by
my niece was almost turning 2. My sister at the time was also pregnant with a second child. My now nephew.
All right.
And in fact, he makes an appearance in Unstitched as well. So I knew I wanted to tell a story that families can relate to, especially like children and parents. And I also, again, taking the aspects of the adult version where fear would have been like the main motivator. I wanted that to be the case with Unstitched as well, where fear is the main motivator and the main enemy for Illinois. Now, the whole what is she afraid of did take me a little bit, but some of the villains kind of came quite easy because I was like, all right, well, if it's fear, you know what? Kids are afraid of the dark, but I think that no one's really afraid of the dark. Like, and this is me going deep. This is how my mind works. No one's afraid of the dark. Your fears take form in the dark. So, you know, when it's dark out, you're not afraid of it being like pitch black. What you're afraid of, you're just imagining is there in the darkness.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's kind of my philosophy. But I was like, you know, I know afraid of the dark, that like people being afraid of the dark, that's a major fear. So that's why the enemy is the darkness, and he has a very like morphic, fluid shape to him. And then like some other things like the boogeyman. I knew I wanted to do that. I just didn't know like a design for him. You know, monster in the closet. Like some things is like what are childhood more or less fairy tales and stuff that I can play with and kind of like retool and like twist basically in my image or my imagination. So then I thought, all right, well, monster in the closet, that'd be kind of cool. You know, the whole idea of like sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. I was like, what if bed bugs were like a thing? And then I kind of was like, what if there was like a hierarchy for villains and like childhood monsters? How would it go? I'm pretty sure bed bugs would just be like the grunts.
Yeah.
You know, like if it was Power Rangers, right? If it was Power Rangers, they're like the silly putty. You know, they're just kind of there for like background getting clobbered. So, you know, I was like bed bugs, monster in the closet, the boogeyman, and then I was like, well, is it gonna just be Illinois? And then, you know, again, my niece, having a babysitter, I was like, she's got these stuffed animals. Well, teddy bears. What if they're like the defenders? And then, you know, while she was sleeping, I was on YouTube because I was babysitting. Yeah, because it did take me about like a weekend or two. I was babysitting her one day. She was napping. I was trying to come up with ideas and stuff. And I was like, I'm just going to watch YouTube real quick. And I watched Codename Kids Next Door on YouTube. Love that animation. But the acronyms, and I love acronyms where it's like a word and each, you know, the word has stuff. And I was like, well, what if Teddy was a title? What if Teddy meant something? And, you know, and that's the difference between a teddy and just a regular stuffed animal. So I came up with terrifically effective dreaming defender. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Codename Kids Next Door, it wouldn't be like completely everything. Sometimes they would have like a random word that was just like made no sense, but they just needed something to fill it. And like that's what made it great. Like that was a great like joke. So I was like, all right, well, teddies are gonna be like knights, like sent to protect children. And you know, they're assigned to a child, they bond with the child, like that's their child to protect. And you know, like once I kind of figured out something, like it's almost like a puzzle. You figure out something and then it just like it slowly clicks. Actually, more like dominoes. Takes a little bit to kind of set up the pieces. Once you do, you just hit it, knock it all down, and just like, oh snap! Would you look at that?
Absolutely. Let's take a look chat real quick.
Meep beep.
No, not. It's water. I tell you, it's water. I couldn't.
I mean, if it was me, it'd be vodka. I'm not gonna lie.
I can down vodka. I can't stand vodka. Actually, I think it's too overpowering. But I'm a lightweight, so.
I don't want to hear you say those words again. Don't you know alcohol is the lifeblood of writing?
Is it really? So if someone cut off your lifeline, your bloodline.
The venom eyeball creature. Yeah, that's the darkness. Because and that one, I would say Laura actually kind of came up with the idea of it having like a bunch of eyes, and I was like, that's great. And that's something I let my artists do. Is in the script, at the very top, we put the credit, like, I put the credit of, like, Unstitched, written, created by me, drawn by so-and-so. And then I put like a little note. I'm like, hey, I write in full script, which means, I have like page 1, and then I do panel breakdowns of explaining every panel.
Oh.
But, in like the dialogue, very much full script. But at that very top, I always have a note saying, although I write in full script, think of this more like a guideline and not set in stone. If you have an idea or want to approach it at another angle, let me know, and I will probably and we can discuss and change and do things accordingly. Because I don't want, it to be like just a job of like a transaction, right? Like, you have to do what my script says, because then, artists don't feel like their creativity can be added. I want them to add their own spice. It's, it's like cooking a great soup. Everyone throw in like a little spice, a little je ne sais quoi, right? You got a great dish. So, the idea of, like when you're paranoid and freaked out at nighttime, it feels like things are watching you. That's where she came up with the idea of like the eyeballs. And I was like, sold. You know what? I love it. Boom. How did I get Jason Brubaker to do a cover? So this is gonna sound like a smart ass answer. But if you ever seen Very Odd Parents, I'm gonna give you the same answer when they asked Timmy Turner, where did he get all this stuff in his room? Internet. Internet. In truth, yeah. Like, he was in my top 3 of like dream candidates that honestly, like my top 3 was like dream candidates that probably won't even like respond or give me the time of day. And I was right on one of them. The other one messaged me back, but they were like too busy. And that was Creature Box. And if you know who Creature Box is, they do a lot of concept art for Insomniac Games, mostly Ratchet and Clank. And I'm like, if you guys are booked, I'm guessing you're doing a Ratchet and Clank game. And I even emailed them that, and they're like, we can't say nothing. And then obviously months later, when like the PS5 was announced, Ratchet and Clank was also announced, and I was like, I was right. And then Jason Brubaker was like, because I love his art, and I just went on his website, jasonbrubaker.com. Well, no, it's like coffee table comics, something like that. I just went on his website, and there was a email section, and I just kind of was like, hey, I know you're a busy dude. I don't know if you even do this or would consider it, but would you do a variant cover for me for my book Unstitched? And I even showed him like a few of the concept art pieces in like a couple pages, and he was like, I've never done a variant cover. So if you get the Unstitched Jason Brubaker variant cover, congratulations. You are getting the first, and I won't say only time Jason's done a variant cover, but at least the first time he's done a variant cover for someone else's book. I popped that cherry.
Well then.
He obviously loved Laura's art style, which, she has an amazing art style. Then I sent him he gave me a price because he's like, I've never done it before. Does this sound right? the price was like a little steep, but I was also like, it's Jason Brubaker, and big names kind of get big prices, and it wasn't as steep as I was honestly expecting. So I just kind of was like, I'm not going to really try to finagle his price down because it was lower than I expected. So I was like, yes, here's some money. And here's like, at the time, I think we had like 18 pages or 20 pages. I was like, here's the book so far. And he was like, cool, give me a week. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't give him any directions. He just saw the concept art. He saw like 18 pages and it was just like, cool, give me a week. He banged it out in a week. And I was like, oh, it's so glorious. And then he was like, I don't like it. And I was like, what? Because like he was like, I like it, but I don't like the colors. I'm still working with the colors. Give me some give me moments on the colors. Because, you know, the red and stuff, it wasn't initially red to begin with. It was like the colors were more dull and not as bright. And if you scroll down at the very bottom of the campaign, you'll see his cover. Right there. Yeah, so the eyes, instead of being red, and it being like this bright, vibrant colors, everything was more dull, like, you know, more like dark nighttime in the room, except for like the top piece, or like, you know, the top part where like the flashlight is. The eyes were like a dullish yellow. And he was like, I don't like the colors. Give me like, can you give me like another week on the colors? And I was like, yes, whatever you say. It looks dope. And then he came back with this, and I was like, oh, it looks better. And, you know, he was like, yeah, man, thank you. Whenever you launch, let me know. And I was like, I will. I don't know what to do with my hands. And you know what the crazy thing is? Like, so because he did brighten it up, you can see all like minor details. And I think it's funny he went with red because if you read his last book, Sithra, or last series called Sithra, he ended it with like, hey, what was it? Like book 6 was called The End. And in fact, like the main slight spoil, like you see the villain, like the main villain, like the last kind of like 2 books, but the end is like this, like bonefish, weird, creepy, monster creature that was all red. And I messaged him like right after he, like, you know, the Sithra campaign ended. So I was like, he's either working on something else or I got him at the right time. And I kind of got him at the right time because, you know, at the time, you know, he was fulfilling Sithra, mostly. Some people already getting their books. And I think because he was like, yeah, I'm so used to doing like red because of he just finished Sithra. He was like, I'm gonna make these eyes red. I don't know if that was his actual logic, but it makes sense to me. But I loved, like, because I didn't even notice. Like, it took me like another day to see some of the detail in the back. Like, so you see the darkness swarming around her, and our Teddy. You see, in like that top left corner, kind of swirling with the darkness is like an army of like bed bugs.
Yep.
You see like that mid right, basically like the door being cracked open. At her elbow Eleanor's elbow, and I didn't even pay attention to her elbow. It took me like a day to figure out he even added the monster in the closet. Like the little fuzzball creatures, the monster in the closet. And I was like, and in fact, he actually added 2 of them. Like the other one is behind Odd Teddy's knife. You don't see all of them, but you see like a partial. You see it?
Yeah.
The light blue fuzz.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it took me like 2 days to notice like the 2 monsters in the closet, and I was like, oh, it's not even better. I gave him no instructions. Just showed him concept art and like some pages. And I mean, Jason Brubaker is just a master of his craft. This is what he came up with, and I was like, it's better than anything I could ever hope for. I love it. But because it is a variant cover, I will never reprint this cover. It will only get a 1 print run. Laura is like the main cover. So if I ever needed to do a reprint, it would be her cover or a different cover, but probably her cover just for convenience sake with, just like another thing that says like, this is second print. But I feel like variant covers like this and like where a guest artist comes in, 1-time print run. That's it.
Mm.
And it looks like there might be only 200 of Jason Brubaker's books that I'll be printing.
Wow. That's going to be worth a lot. That's pretty sweet. Gothic Arch is asking or saying, nice. Are you doing a fan art page?
Yes, I am. And I have some amazing fan art.
Is any of it stuff that you can share, or are you keeping it all secret too?
Yeah, I can share some. Let me I gotta pull it up, but yeah, I can share some, obviously. Absolutely.
When would you say you first started getting fan art for Unstitched?
While we were still campaigning.
During the funding stage?
Yeah.
Nice.
That made me like so happy. I was like, I love this. This is glorious. I want more of this. How can I get more of this? And I was like, it's easy. I just do a fan art section. Where is his name? I messaged him what seems like not too long ago. Why is it? Am I skipping his name? There he is. Yeah. I'm a. Let me pull up.
Wait a minute. Oh, all right. Never mind.
Unstitched. And in fact, actually, the very first piece of fan art I got is actually the poster that my friend did. Which will also be the back cover. He did that, and I was like, "Yo, I love this. You did this physically, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I did." And I was like, "I'll pay you for it." He was like, "What?" I was like, "I want to buy this. Give it to me. I will put it in the book." And I was like, "No, I will put it on the book." it will be the back cover, because I really love what Mike and Tim do with like their books of you have the front cover obviously, but they have an inside front cover, they have an inside back cover, they even have a back cover. I probably won't do the inside covers because I need a credits page. But I'm definitely doing the back cover. So can you see my screen?
There we go.
All right, cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is actually one of my favorite pieces of fan art, actually. This is done by Extrovert XD on Twitter. I don't know how to spell extrovert without looking at his name.
EHTROVERT.
Yeah, and then it's like XD. You can follow him on Twitter. He's an amazing dude. In fact, he is even doing another piece of Unstitched fan art. I know the man is a mad lad, but like I love this. It gives that very much like I don't even want to say Tim Burton vibes. It almost feels like have you ever seen the anime Soul Eater?
So, no, I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
Well, just the color schemes. It reminds me of that. I recommend it. It's a great anime. This one was sent by Statistical Zero.
Yeah.
And in fact, on Twitter, he even did my avatar as another piece of like fan art, and I was like, I'm just gonna use this as my profile because it makes me look much friendlier than a picture of me. And this is absolutely my favorite piece. Omar Casanova. If you know him, he's done like a trading card, I believe, on the Lost Pages.
Oh.
Amazing artist out of like Puerto Rico. Crazy dude. This came out of like left field. I was not expecting him to do a piece. And in fact, he's actually sending me this original. He said, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm like, oh, love it.
That's so cool. When you were saying extrovert XD, is that the same as Adolfo Renato? Because it looks like the Twitter handle extrovert XD is associated with the. Well, no, I think this has got to be.
No, it's extrovert X. Well, his top thing says extrovert XD, commissions open, DMs for details, and it's really like at Woodall 912420, the capital W.
Oh, Alex Woodall.
Yeah, well, just Whittle J91. All right, so it's at capital W, lowercase, 009, not 9. Why did I say 9? D, like wood. ALL capital J 912420. It's
Oh, all right, there he is.
Yeah. But you know, he's got a picture of like an upside down dude.
Yeah.
Amazing artist. I guess I could have showed you the piece he is working on as well. But it's only penciled, so I don't know how well it's gonna blend in or show.
We
But
shall
yeah, you can give it a shot. Indeed. I don't know if you can see it or not.
It's kind of hard to.
Yeah, like I said, it's just
right.
pencils, but it has like the Teddy kind of like walking slowly, anime style against like the giant boogeyman bear. Which the boogeyman, the way he drew him, like I said, I know it's hard to see, but with all the unstitched stuffing on his back, he looks kind of like if Sabretooth from X-Men was just like a complete like bare face. Like he's got like, you know how like Wolverine, not Wolverine, but like Sabretooth has like the fur on his back.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. I'm excited for that fan art piece. I'm like, yo, show me when there's more progress.
Oh yeah.
It's exciting.
Absolutely. Well, that's pretty sweet. Fan art's got to be a real boost.
Yes. It absolutely is. Like, I feel like you can tell how great an IP is by the passion of the fans that are willing to do fan art for it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's not a real like 1-to-1 correlation, but you know, I love it. It makes me happy. It blows my mind that I'm like, this is what other people see in my store, like their interpret. Oh my god, you humble me! You humble me! I'm just a man trying to entertain and provide stories, and I have an overactive imagination, and I'm just trying to like force my dreams into reality. And you're like, I like your dreams. Here's what I think of them, and it's not poo poo either. It's dope. So here's Dope Boy, and I'm like, that is awesome. And you know, then I twirl my mustache.
As you can see plans. That's too funny. Let me see here. So, whoops, crap. All right, let me check something here.
And you know what? I'm gonna show you this because this is really cool. I got this. So like they're sold out, but you know, I got all of the bears now, and all the bears are made.
All right.
Handmade, you know. So, you know, this all the variations in how these 3 bears sticks out is slightly different, and how much unstitching there is in each bear. But all of their eyes glow in the dark. I can't really show you because no matter what, the computer screen is going to reflect, so it won't really do it. But it does have glow in the paint dark on them. Amazing. And
so cool.
It won't be professional.
Oh yeah.
What? There's a number that lets you know like what number you bet. I will be signing right here. You know, it's even shiny.
So shiny.
And little rabbit tree is who made the bears. So, you know, I absolutely told her, I was like, I want you to put your logo on this. No,
Oh, you're roboting.
thank you.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, for a second, your screen was kind of frozen and you were roboting.
Yeah,
Uh,
I live out in the country. It's an issue.
So you're showing the certificate, and they're all individually numbered.
Yep.
So, man, I can't remember what backer number it was. I think I didn't get a chance to back it until like number 6 or something. No, I think I was like 5.
Well,
before you
on the certificates, because you know, like it's only 10 bears. It's gonna be like who ordered the bears first on those, and like not quite your Indiegogo backer number, because you could have been like backer number 37 on Indiegogo, but you could have been like the 5th person to get a bear, you know. So you would get certificate number 5, obviously. Right. I think Shay is number 1.
Oh my gosh, she got on it first.
Yeah, because I did the launch stream on her channel, or the launch on her channel, and it was funny because, like, and this isn't doxing, because obviously you can go back on her channel and watch the June 18th stream. But Dan Frager was on the stream, so was the Skits team. Dan Frager is actually the number 1 backer because he's collecting those scalps.
Yeah.
And apparently he's number 1 on a bunch of different campaigns, and I'm like, how? Okay, it's cool. He didn't get a bear though.
Right.
And that's what like what they call unfair, because they were like, the bear, we had to scroll down to back it.
You gotta scroll down.
Oh you God. Didn't have to scroll down that much. That's why you were number 1, Frager. Shay's number 1 on the Bears. The Skits team is number 2 on the Bears.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, I have no idea. In fact, the only one, because my mom bought a bear and my sister bought a bear. Ooh. And I'm like, I don't know how well the bears are gonna do at my sister's house because of the kids, because I don't know if they're gonna be freaked out by the glowing dark eyes or not, because I know they both sleep with a nightlight on, which, you know, a nightlight is also in the book Unstitched. You should go back that now on Indiegogo. Look at that segue.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe they don't even see the eyes. Maybe they'll just think it's a weird bear.
You mean you haven't had a chance to beta test it with?
Well, actually, you know what? I know they won't be freaked out with it during the daytime, because truly 11 bears are made. 1 just isn't for resale because I obviously want a bear myself.
Right. Yeah. Wasn't one for you, and then.
Yeah, and then like 10 like 10 is sold and 10 certificates are made. I don't have a certificate myself.
I thought at first you were intending on having 1 for you to keep and then 1 to give your sister's niece.
No, my sister bought 1.
Oh, okay, all right.
I can't. They were handmade. They're expensive.
Right.
I can't just be giving it for free. But she bought 1.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. Like, they wanted to play with my bear on Thanksgiving. Hey, Dark Grift. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Hello, brother. We're just talking a little bit of Unstitched.
Let me catch up while I'm at it. Gothic Arch says, I hope mine makes a cut, lol. Keep that campaign open as long as possible so I can back.
Yes. Has he... I have to, like, hit me up on the Twitter DMs. I think you sent a piece. If not, let me know. Because I am organizing for the printer. If you've not backed yet, that's okay, because I am going to be doing overprinting. And very much like Captain Love, that's the name. It almost escaped me, but it didn't. I'll be shutting down some tiers. But I will keep it open where once I do start fulfillment and stuff, and people go, "Oh man, Unstitched is really good. Oh, you should have gotten what? You didn't back it. Oh, but what? The campaign is not closed. Why? Because I overprinted. So it's gonna be one of those. You buy it, you back it, and I'll be sending it like within the week after that. And you know what? I do have yours. Yours will be making the cut. I can type them kind of with spell check. Sometimes I can say them. Sometimes I can't. It is what it is. I haven't been drinking. I swear. But yes, you know what? I seize it.
Keep the Brubaker cover open.
Definitely. You will have.
Was this a recent fan art entry? Gothic? Because I don't think it was included with the ones you showed.
Oh man, where is it? You know what? I probably have it saved. Did you DM it to me?
You might also check the top
because if you didn't DM it to me, then I have it saved on my phone and will send it to you, because there's a few that I was going to post on Twitter going, "Hey, I have fan art here, and I don't remember who sent this. Can you help me out?" And you might have been one of those cases where I have your fan art, and I don't know. But if you have a file, DM it to me, because I definitely want to make sure it is in it and give you proper credit. Because at the time I didn't know about doing a fan art section, and you sent it to me, and that kind of helped solidify it. But yeah, just if you could DM it to me on the Twitters, and I will keep the Brubaker cover open as long as I have them in stock. And I'm definitely overprinting because, again, I want to make sure that people can back it after it's fulfilled, and reviews come in. I'm doing some slight re-lettering after we were done, because a second editor came on board for reasons. My first editor was great. I loved them. They're not a bad editor at all. But I may have tried to submit Unstitched to a publisher, and they like it, but their editor had a few suggestions to spice it up a little. Which, honestly, they do. Some of the things I did put my foot down, and I said no, but there was a few things that I'm definitely like, yep, you're a comic editor and not just a book editor. It shows, because there's certain things a comic editor knows or can point out that just a regular editor can, like, hey, some of these sound effects are missing, and it really like spices it up a bit. So it's minor tweaks. Or like, hey, I have a caption here to just kind of like clarify who this is a little bit better. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then there was like a few things I was like, I get you want to do like add a time on this part, because obviously a time jump did happen. And I thought it was kind of just displayed the art, but I guess a caption does make it more clarable. But the length of time let's not say like 3 hours. Let's say, I don't know, like 45 minutes. It's bedtime. Like, no kid's gonna be up for like 3 hours. Come on, get out of here. You know, it's minor things like that.
So you got these.
Yes, you know what? Boom! I remember that. Share my screen, because that is actually a dope one, and I'm so glad. Because for the life of me, I did not remember who did this one.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so amazing, so cool, and it's on my phone. It's on my phone, and you know what? I did put your name on my phone. That's how I saved it. I saved it as like Gothic Arch, but I didn't probably do the little underscore because I'm gonna use like your Twitter handle. If you've gotten like Common America too, he had a fan art section, and that's what he did. Like, no, Twitter handle name, like near the fan art of who did it. Thank you, Gothic Art. I'm glad you were able to join us, and I do appreciate the fan art. And when you do back the book later on, and you get the book in your hand, because I will be going to printers this month, probably like mid-month or so, like 12th, 15th, something like that. Just, you know, we are that close to wrapping it up. Your art will be in the book. It will be in the back. It's gonna be dope.
It was early on. I deemed it to you. Gotta go.
Yep.
Have a good stream. Take it easy, Gothic Art. Cool.
And I got 2021 is gonna be an exciting year, because I know we're in December, but it's gonna be an exciting year for me. Obviously, Unstitched 2 is in production. Like I said, 15 pages in. I do have a new artist for that, though. Laura couldn't continue. It is what it is, and I understand. She wants to focus on her own stuff. So, you know, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Because art takes a long time to do, especially when you have like the detail she puts in, especially in like the coloring and stuff. And I'm like, it's such a shame to lose such talent, but I am happy because I have another person named Enrico Orlandi, who he has a book of his own called Flower of the Witch, because he's an Italian dude. Dark Horse Comics actually translated his book into English this year and published it. So if you go to your local comic shop, I don't know if you do or not. I don't know if you just buy strictly like crowdfunded books, but if you go to your local comic shop, or you can even go online, type in Flower of the Witch, Enrico, or, you know, ask your local comic shop, be like, hey, there's a Dark Horse graphic novel called Flower of the Witch. It looks pretty cool. Get it, order it, back it, buy it, and be like, what? This dude's gonna be doing this stuff for Unstitched. How did he land him? And I will be like, internet, I just asked. And in fact, besides just the minor lettering readjustments of the secondary editor, the other thing is we have the cover done for Unstitched 2. And we just gotta color it. But if you, yep, that's it. Amazing art style. I like it. It's not too far off from Lars. It still has like a cute cartoony vibe. Obviously, it doesn't have like the same sort of like atmosphere type vibe to it. And it feels almost like if Mike Mignola did a kid's book. I love Enrico's art style, and in fact, I actually had to flip a coin between him and Laura. Because I posted in a Facebook group, "Hey, I'm doing a book. I have money. It's going to be a paid gig. It's a children's book." They both sent me their profile portfolios. So did like 100 other people. Those two stuck out the most. And I thought it was just like, oh, this just fits so perfect. But I couldn't decide, and it landed on Tails. So Laura got the job.
Yeah.
So
you tossed a coin.
I did. I couldn't decide between them.
Yeah,
and then Laura, it took about a year, and she had surgery and stuff. But I think because she had surgery and missed some time, it dawned on her like she wants to do her own stuff. She has a webtoons comic, and she wants to focus more on that and like another comic that's her own. I've seen production of that, and I'm like, yeah, no, you want to do your own stuff, and you had a life-threatening surgery, and it kind of dawned on you that you want to just do your own stuff. Absolutely, go for it. So sad to watch it leave, but I respect it. So the art style is going to change for the second one, and hopefully when the second one's done and I have the script for the third one, I can be like, "Hey, Orlando, you had a fun time. We made some money, all right? Let's do it again." I like working with him. Want a slight break just because of holidays. That, and I had some like personal things happen in like last month, so missed some days of work. So I was like, "Hey, let's just take a break real quick. I need some mental rest, and also I missed days, so my paycheck don't have that extra cash to pay you with the pages. Give me a little bit." And he understands. He's cool. He's gonna be coloring the Unstitched Chapter 2 poster cover. If you want to, I will even share it so you can get a sneak peek.
Awesome. Absolutely. Oh wow.
Yeah. He draws in pink. It took me a little bit to get used to. But all his line art, he draws under pink. It just says for him, it just helps pop it out more, which I do agree. Like drawing with a slight pink background pops out, the line art more than just painting under a white. But it won't be pink when it's colored, right? We're just gonna. I told him to lower the art a little bit, just to give more title space up top, and he's gonna be doing that. He's gonna be coloring it, and what I'm gonna do is once it's colored, his cover, just to kind of get people more excited, will be in the back of the first one. So by the time you're done reading the story, you're like, "Oh, that was really good. What? There's fan art," and you're like, "Oh man, look at the fan art from Gothic. Oh, look at from Omoy. Look from Excerpt. Look from like Tyler from John Talk. He did a what? Look at this cool fan art." And then you're like, "What is this? What? Cover for Unstitched 2. When does it come out? I want it. I'm so excited." That's what I'm hoping for.
That style does look slightly different. It's got a slightly different vibe. Are the finished is the finished work going to have the heavy black lines as well? Do you think, based on what you've seen in his portfolio?
A bit, yeah. Like if you saw like the like Flower of the Witch, it's gonna be very much like that. Like that's his art style. he recently, I think like in October, finished doing work on a Kickstarter called like Bird with a Stick. You know, great book because he has great art. So, you know, anything he does looks great.
Nice.
But, you know, I'm excited.
So the artist you're using for book 2 was more kind of like the runner-up or the one who was tied for your part 1 artist.
It's yep. You know what? Like I couldn't. Like I said, I had to flip a coin. It was like 1A, 1B. They were both so really good. Well, actually, not good. They were great. I want to work with them both, but you know, it's one of those I can't really have 2 different artists with 2 different styles on one book.
Right.
But with Laura having to leave, and I hit up Enrico, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'm down for it." And I was like, "This is what it means to have your cake and eat it too." I get to work with both artists that I really wanted to work with.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was fortunate or fortuitous that he was available when he was, so you could work on your book. So that's cool.
Sometimes the stars line up. Plus, because you know he did do a book for Dark Horse, and Dark Horse is a pretty good publisher. It does add a little bit of marketing because Laura has only really done like a couple of Kickstarters, mostly her web comics. So you know, as a named artist, she doesn't really have a big name.
Right.
At least with Enrico, because of like Dark Horse, I can go on Twitter and be like, "Yeah, check out Unstitched too. Face Your Fears and." Oh, done by Enrico. You might know him from at Dark Horse. That way they retweet it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then like give props to like Flower the Witch, and they'll be like, "What, Enrico? We know that dude. He's our homie. Like, retweet. Back this comic too because it says art." And I'm like, it's all coming together.
Love it when
you know, marketing strategies.
There you go.
Absolutely. But 2021, I have some crazy plans for that. Unstitched will continue. I'm gonna be doing some other things as well. Not Unstitched related. Not even all ages related. I am going to do a super violent book as well.
Oh, is that right?
And in fact, me and that artist are like 15 pages in.
Oh wow! You're gonna jump on it.
Got to, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop. The grind don't stop. The work don't stop. That one is gonna be fun. If you like, I guess, Graveyard Shift, it's a little similar to Graveyard Shift, but it's more or less like me going, hey, really, to me, it's more like Legions of Monsters from like Marvel, where it's a bunch of monsters teaming up. But because, you know, Marvel is Marvel and they can't do anything like super R-rated, I'm like, you can't have monsters team up and not have like buckets of blood. Come on, get out of here. You're not doing it right. So this one is like, this is what Legions of Monsters should be. And it's gonna be 4 monsters. It's gonna be Dracula, a witch named Morgan, Frankenstein's monster, and a teenage werewolf fighting against Azazel, one of the demon princes of hell, who was summoned by a cult accidentally.
Accidentally.
Well, they were trying to summon a demon, and their calculations of the stars were off, so the gates to hell was a little bit wider than expected. So instead of getting like a small time demon they could control, they released one of the princes of hell, which they definitely cannot control. And more or less, they do it in like Transylvania, where obviously Dracula's at, and Drac's like king of the monsters and like, you know, lord of the night, and he's like, yo, I don't know what it is, but my animal instincts are kind of kicking in, like, you know, he just senses something powerful, and he's like, what's this? Oh, a demon? Let me fight this. And they fight, and he kind of gets his butt kicked, and it's like, you know what? I need help. It's gonna be a great. It's gonna be a mini series. It's gonna be like single issues. But it's gonna be action packed all the way through. It's gonna be great. That's part of my plans for 2021. I'm gonna be doing a backup story for another creator. But that's a little hush hush. In fact, he messaged me while we were streaming, and I'm like, I'm streaming right now, but yeah, that artist that you picked, he looks amazing. I'm excited. I'm gonna be doing a backup story for someone else. So I'm like, what? I don't have to worry about fulfillment. I don't have to really worry about anything. I just gotta write some pages, and someone. I don't even have to pay the artist. I don't have to pay an artist.
It's a nice little hiatus from all the work you put into this campaign.
It is.
Nice little break.
And you know, this person, like they were a beta test reader for Unstitched. They really liked it, so you know they're like, you know, this person is a creator who's done a lot of books.
Wow.
And you know, he gave me probably one of the best compliments ever with Unstitched. He was like, "This is the only time I probably read a crowdfunded book, and he was like, I wasn't disappointed at all. He's like, a lot of crowdfunded books are stinkers. This is not a stink. This is actually like the bomb." And two, he was like, it made me mad at myself that I didn't come up with this idea. This idea is gold.
That's cool. Yeah, that is a compliment.
And I was like, oh my God. I'm so happy. I want to have like giant anime tears that squiggle down. Don't come down, they squiggle.
Yeah, really. Squiggle tears. Yotam Darkstar, welcome. Says,
hey, buddy.
Oh man, yeah, I really enjoy the art in this book. This is going to be a good one for sure, and it's no wonder that people have, been inspired enough to do fan art on it, because it's a cool idea and everything. I dig it.
And the more people like it, the crazier the ideas will get in Unstitched. And it has a fantasy element to it, but I have also plans for like a more sci-fi element later on. In fact, there's a slight sci-fi hint with like some of the page or a few of the pages in like this part one as well. It's gonna be a very flexible, because I kind of want Unstitched to be like the children's story of like Hellboy, where Mike Mignola can put Hellboy in whatever scenario or whatever type of genre story he feels like writing. Is like, oh, I want to do Pulp Fiction, or like a pulp story. with Hellboy and he can do it, or I'm gonna do something more gory and can do it. I can do something more like a little bit science fiction. Well, I guess that's more of his folk stuff, but you know, he made Hellboy a very flexible story and character and universe, and that's kind of what I want with Unstitched. We did not, unfortunately, hit any of the other stretch goals. The patches, I was really hoping for, but I didn't do as much. I didn't do as much promoting as I would have liked. Some of it had to do with I've had to experience like 2 funerals.
Oh no!
Since this launched in June, so 2 funerals in like 6 months. It kind of takes you out of things a little bit.
Oh yeah. Sorry for your this. Dang, that sucks.
I appreciate it, man. But you know, on happier news, the mystery guest artist has agreed to do a print for the next chapter.
Oh, nice.
So although you're not gonna get a free print this one, you know, his stuff's gonna be available next one. I mean, their stuff, you know, gotta be gender inclusive. Their stuff.
Oh, shit. Oh dear. Oh boy.
That way you don't know if the artist is actually a guy or not.
A guy, a girl, plus or a minus,
yeah,
a yellow or a green. Oh my gosh. Well, that's pretty cool that you'll get, there will be a print by the to be determined guest artist on the next project. But it sounds like with all the stuff that you're juggling, with all the projects you've got in mind that you're planning out, that Unstitched Book 2 is the next in line, right?
Yes. Obviously, because like on this campaign, it says part 1 of 2, so obviously this isn't the full story.
Yep.
I am going to be changing that part 1 of 2 though. It's going to be called when you get the book. It's going to be called Unstitched, Fear the Darkness. Kind of taking like the Brian Pulido like subtitle name, kind of like he does like Lady Death. And in fact, even Ethan has done it with Cyberfog, where it was like Cyberfog, Blood Honey, Cyberfog, Red Planet. There's a secondary title to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing that. So you know, Fear the Darkness will be part 1, and then Face Your Fears will now be part 2. But you know, that's where we kind of finish this storyline at, and then I will focus more on kind of what Mark and Tim does of doing a whole story chapter in like about 50 pages for continued stories. That way you're not like cut with like cliffhangers as much, you know.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So on Unstitched 1, all art is complete and all 48.
Yep. All the art is complete, drawn, colored. In fact, the book is actually already lettered. But where I did submit it to a publisher. Secondary editor has come in, so some relettering is happening.
Even for this crowdfunded version?
Yeah. So you know, like that way, it's not like, oh, the crowdfunded version has a slightly different dialogue than if it goes to the public. You know, it's just slight lettering. It doesn't take too long. About a week. Plus, you know, I'm waiting on the next one to get colored. And my release date, I estimated it would be January. So I'm still hitting that time frame. And if it wasn't for like the last funeral, that did kind of like throw me for a massive loop. I probably would have went into the printers last month. But you know, I obviously took some mental time, some you know, just kind of focus on my mental health. And I didn't really like work on production or, you know, contact the team besides letting them know, hey, taking some time, you know, y'all be good, y'all be safe. So, you know, like I said, if it wasn't for that funeral, we probably would have already had the stuff done, and would have went to printers last month. Because that's what I was hoping for, is ship early, not on time. So I wanted this before Christmas, but it's going to be slightly after Christmas because it takes about 2-3 weeks. Plus, you know, obviously the Christmas season, I'm pretty sure the printers are going to be busy or whatever. But, you know, we're still going to hit that January mark, which is exciting. How many crowdfunded books and you can be like, what? On time? And it looks amazing. And I'm doing something pretty cool with the cover, actually. Something that I think that no one else has really done with the cover. That many like that people do for like a comic. The cover will actually be soft touch laminate.
Soft touch laminate.
Yeah. So if you ever touched a book and it had that like velvety feel.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna have that feel. So when you read about a teddy bear fighting the darkness and all his baddies, and you just open the book and you're touching it, it's gonna have that soft velvety feel, and you're gonna be like, it seems like I'm reading a book about teddy bears while holding a teddy bear, but it's not a teddy bear. It's the book. I think it's very fitting for this book. The printer showed me like they don't normally do a page sample of that laminate, but they did one for me. I loved it, and I was like, yes. Plus, it's just gonna make the book and the experience feel a lot better.
Does it add much in terms of overall cost, or is it just?
It was within my budget. You know, anytime you do anything special with a cover, like, you know, spot UV or anything that's just not like a regular thing, you know, does increase the cost a little bit, but it didn't break the bank.
Cool. And what does all right, so were you planning all along to have a publisher involved with this, and does it affect the running of the crowdfunding campaign at all?
Nope.
I mean, are they more or less the people who are going to do the fulfillment for you?
No, they are not going to do the fulfillment for me. What they're going to do, kind of like how Brian Pulido, actually, much like how a Sweetcast works, right? With a Downcast, his book Downcast of like Alterna Comics, doing it, and they're taking like the first book and they're breaking it into 2 issues, and they're taking the second book and breaking it into 2 issues. You know, sell it like at a cheaper thing, and you can be like, what? But I paid this much. Well, you know, my paper stock's gonna be thicker. You know, I'm doing the special cover of like the soft touch. It's the premium edition is what you're getting, right?
Okay.
Plus, the Jason Brubaker cover will not be with the publisher. You know, so, you know, things are going to change, but yeah, what they're going to do is they're going to like take this book and they're going to break it up in like 2 issues. which kind of helps me out a little bit, because then, with whatever money I make, whether it's peanuts or the whole enchilada, which, it could be just peanuts. That just means that is more income from a different source, more eyes on Unstitched, right? So, and just like Clint Stoker and just like Brian Polito, the crowdfunders will get their book first. You're getting extra stuff, because the publisher won't get like the fan art section. They won't get the special notes. They won't get all the extras. They don't get the higher print quality, because they're gonna probably do a lower paper stock. But with them, even if I get peanuts, right, I'm getting slightly extra money from a different source. More fans of Unstitched that could, hopefully they follow me on Twitter. They're like, oh, what? I can't wait. What? This is a special edition. I want this so I can sell it on eBay, and I'll just get the issues later and I'll read the issues. But I want to flip that money, and it just means that with money from a secondary source, I can pay an artist where I don't have to crowdfund as big of a goal.
Right.
Because honestly, with what I made, I more or less made my money back. I have slight profits, but not a lot. And it's because I paid everything out of pocket when it came to art. Like, when I launched, we only had like 4 pages. And in fact, I paid all the art out of my own pocket.
Wow.
So more or less, I covered printing and I covered some extras, and that's why like the Dreamer tier is so cheap, where you get a mini print and a poster for like $55. I paid for like handmade bears, which when I crowdfunded, I paid for like 5 bears out of my own pocket, and then we kind of paid for the other 5 bears with like the crowdfunded money. I more or less kind of made money back.
Right.
Which is good, because that's one reason why I'm already 15 pages in on the next book. And even if I only make like a couple $100 through a publisher, right? That's still like a page of art that I didn't have to pay for out of my own pocket. Or like a couple pages. Even if it's like a couple hundred, whatever. Doesn't matter. Hopefully it builds more fans. And that's what, you want with an IP. You want to build a following. You want to build fans. And you want people to go, yeah, I got the issues, but I can't wait. I'm going to back this now. And I think that's the actual model that a lot of publishers are going with. Antarctic Press has a lot of books that are like crowdfunded or outside the means, because WyzGyz is Patreon, amazing book. And they obviously, if you're on Patreon, you get the uncensored version. Antarctic Press does a censored version, but that's how they're able to do most of their production, is through the monthly subscriptions of Patreon. Tim Lim and Mike Pellegrini, they do Kickstarter and Indiegogo. They do on both platforms, which I will be following that next year with Unstitched, going on both. Do Indiegogo first. Indiegogo is going to have the cool stuff, like, teddy bears. So, Kickstarter won't get like limited teddy bears. Indiegogo will, because that's where I started. That's my home. That's my people.
Gotcha.
Kickstarter is to help build the audience, help get extra, help get more books out there.
Right.
And I also know that, hey, Some people don't like Kickstarter, they only back Indiegogo. Some people don't like Indiegogo, they only back Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly.
I put a project on both. I'm hitting that in between cycle.
Yeah, I mean, there will be some backers who will back you on either platform, or
Yeah.
in some cases both. But yeah, I fall into the category of about 95% of the time I'll only back Indiegogo.
Yeah. Like,
Every once in a while, I find something that seems just cool enough to make it worth,
yeah, like Brian Pulido, Lady Death. Anytime he drops a Lady Death book, I'm dropping money on it. Like, he pretty much only does Kickstarter. I think he did like an Indiegogo last year, but it was more or less like, hey, if you never read Lady Death, here's like a catch-up thing. It wasn't like a new campaign or anything. It was more or less selling like all his old books, which it was dope. And I think he raised like 40 or 50,000. He did a good number. But like, Kickstarter's his home. I think he even has a special deal with Kickstarter because he's always on like the projects we love when he launches. Which gives you like, Kickstarter gives you a boost through that. Which when you make six figures and you've made your whole career, in effect, Brian Pulido is like Ethan Van Sciver may be the king when it comes to total money wise. Brian Pulido is still like the forefather of crowdfunding.
Maybe him and Todd McFarlane.
I won't say Todd when it comes to like Todd, maybe king when it comes to money wise with his toy, but Brian Pulido was the first person that decided, hey, well, him and actually Jason Brubaker. Oddly enough, I think Jason Brubaker was the first person on Kickstarter to make six figures through a comic.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
With his book F.A.M.I.L.Y, and that's why he quit DreamWorks. But Brian Pulido with like Lady Death and early on, like 2015, kind of made a whole like business going, hey, yeah, crowdfunding a book, hitting this amount, kind of doing it every 3 months or whatever, because that's what it takes him. Is like, well, at least now he launches a book, it seems like every 3 months. It's Lady Death and one of his other two characters, and then Lady Death. Like, every other book's Lady Death. And every other book's either Hell Witch or Le Morta, which is like his other two titles, which they're all in the same universe, and those two spun out of Lady Death. But
okay. All right.
It just makes sure he doesn't oversaturate Lady Death, even though it's in the same universe.
Yeah.
Which, it's smart. It's genius. So, like, he releases 4 books a year. He makes like 6 figures every time, like 300,000. Yeah.
That's good.
And he's been doing it since 2015. So,
well,
it's because of him and his model that so many people on like CG and Ethan, we know what the hell we're doing because we watched him.
Yeah.
And going, so, okay, this is what you do. Okay. Notes taken, lessons learned.
Well, he's also got a website, coffincomics.com. So you can get all kinds of books through there too. That's where I got one of the Lady Death ones. I got like the 4th of July special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one of those that I just had to get.
Yeah. And it's one of those, like, he knows what he's doing. He proved like, hey, he's not going through Diamond. He was like, because he knew years before even CG existed, and he's actually neutral on CG. He's just like, yo,
All right.
Brian Polito,
I
like
didn't know
he's
that.
like, yeah, he's neutral. Which I respect that
Yeah.
because he's like, I don't care. Which he's never really cared truly about mainstream. It's always been about Lady Death for him. Lady Death is definitely like a metal goth witch chick. Definitely not mainstream. And its look and its story. He doesn't really care about he's absolutely rock and roll, wanting to do his own thing, always blazing his own path. And he knew years ago, like, hey, I'm a crowdfund. I'm not going to rely on Diamond. He did that in the 90s, going direct to customers. You can build a better and even more loyal fan base going direct to customers.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And that is why, like, his Facebook group is huge. Like, he even calls his like fans like the Sworn. They have like their own little lingo. Fucking like he on presentation. I'm like, I hope I can get like big enough where I can do some of the things he does. Because before he even launches a campaign, he does a video like maybe a week prior. He'll show like a few covers. He even does like a bunch of covers in the room because he does a bunch of covers, like mystery things, and then he'll like do like a reveal. It's almost like a game show of like, oh look, this is the main cover. We got so and so doing a cover. We got some prints. We got posted. Like he does a slow reveal, and you're like, I want that. No, I want that. Oh my god, when does this come out? Next week? I can't wait. I want to. He builds that great anticipation. He's so great at the showmanship, at the salesmanship, at relating to customers. So like it's stuff like that. I'm like, I want to do that one day. Like, holy crap, he's an inspiration. He just doesn't, really care like the whole CG anti-CG because he's like, yo, I've already made my own path, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Just gonna keep. He stays in his lane, and that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Much respect to him. It's and he has respect because Ethan like recommends and like goes, yeah, I learned from Polito.
Oh yeah, definitely. Probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Because he's got it pretty much locked in. He knows how to do it and how to generate the interest and the hype and run successful campaigns.
Like even Sebastian A. Jones of Stranger Comics, same thing. He runs his whole thing through. He has his own website, and every book is crowdfunded. And then like after crowdfunding, like they slightly toss a bone to like Diamond. Even Brian does it. Like tosses a bone where it's like they take the book, they break it up in like two or whatever for like local comic shops to buy months later. But really, that's just like to them, that's just icing already on top of a cake. Their main thing is crowdfunding.
What's that guy's name? Sebastian?
Sebastian A. Jones of Stranger Comics. He launched a campaign a couple of days ago on Kickstarter called Ruining Christmas. If you want to type that in, Ruining Christmas, RUINING.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's a new IP for him. And I know he's a little bit nervous on that.
Brendan Beal? Oh, no.
No. Just type in Kickstarter.
Oh, wait, hold on. This might.
Yeah, just go to like Kickstarter.com and then just search like Ruining Christmas through there. And I might even be under the projects we love. Who knows? All right. Well, it's not right there on the top thing, but just type in Ruining Christmas. It's a funny book. Right there it is. A cheeky comic caper. Boom. In fact, Sebastian A. Jones is he's Comic Con booth buddies with Brian Pulido.
Really?
Yeah. Every time they go to like San Diego Comic Con, they're right next to each other. He has an amazing series. Like his main series is called Niobe. And I'll even show you his book right here.
That sounds familiar. Niobe.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow,
That's detailed. Rich colors too.
Yeah. So that's inside art. This is like their hardcover edition. Amazing book. It's the Niobe series is picture Lord of the Rings with Black Panther.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. It's a dope series. Fantasy, black elves, great stuff. But Ruining Christmas, it's something different. And that's kind of why his numbers are a little bit low, because this is a comedy while he's done everything kind of like serious fantasy.
Right.
And this is cartoony, and you've seen like the detail and stuff in the Niobe. So it's that risk you take when you do a different IP.
Yep.
And you definitely do something that is off the beaten path from what you're used to. But Jay Lee's even done a cover for him. In fact, that one right there, where like the kid's on the chair.
Right here?
Yep, Jay Lee.
Really?
Same one who did Ethan Man's Skyver's Wrecked Planet.
Yeah.
Jay Lee.
Huh.
Jay Lee actually has done a lot of covers for Sebastian.
Was that right?
Yep.
Wow, cool.
He did a 48-hour tier special, which obviously that ended because this is now day 3. But like I recommend people backing this book. I think it's great. I love the art style. I'm also like a little bit biased. Like Sebastian's a friend, or has become a friend over the last year.
Right.
I've asked him for like advice. It's like professional friendship. He's got joke stuff like mistletoe undies, frostbite condoms.
Oh my gosh.
He's got like little nice joke things in this, but like he's a friend. I think he has a great book. I know the Niobe series is great. I like the idea of the world has become so entitled and like narcissistic that we don't care for Christmas anymore. And in fact, the magic and power of Christmas is in Santa's hat, and like a kid stole it. So like elves are trying to steal it back.
Oh.
They basically try to save Christmas.
Oh, God.
Like, like you have joke covers like this. Like that's great.
Oh my gosh.
So like, when it comes to like, and he does only Kickstarter, but again, he's kind of like I said, he's friends with Brian Pulido. He's been building like Kickstarter for years or whatever. Like it's what he knows, is what he does. And I think he might have like a special arrangement with them, kind of like Brian does as well. So I recommend backing this book as well. It's Christmas, right? It's
Right.
December, and I think this is only going to be available for like what is it? Because he's doing a very limited time run. I think like the 15th. You have to scroll up. I don't remember how many days are left on this, but I think he's only doing like 15 or 20 days.
Here.
But you know,
22
yeah,
days.
22 days. Yep. Okay, so yep, he's doing until Christmas. And I love the whole Usual Suspects cover,
Yep.
except they're all under like
Yeah, they're all
4'6".
under 4 feet.
Yeah,
4'6", yeah.
yeah. Like only one of them hits 4 feet,
Right.
and the other two kind of hit it just because of like hairdo.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Huh. That looks like fun.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Going back real quick too. Did I hear you right? Did you say that even with this publishing deal in place, you're going to fulfill it to the backers on Indiegogo first?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, because nothing is fully in place with the publisher yet. Obviously we're doing relettering because of them. But I'm gonna like after the relettering and that stuff, I'm going straight to printers. Also with Enrico coloring, I'm going straight to printers. I'm fulfilling myself. Obviously they're gonna need time themselves to put it on their schedule, put it through like if they decide to publish, right?
Right.
Which it does seem very likely. Like it's a high probability that they will. I won't say their names.
Right.
But obviously it's not Marvel and DC because this is original IP. They only publish their own characters.
It's not Marvel or DC. It's Diamond.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can also say it's not Artana Press either. Mostly because Artana they've had a teddy bear book before years ago. So he's like, it'd be too familiar to a previous title he had. Which but he did say it's a nice looking book. So I appreciate Peter. He's a great dude. So in case you were guessing Artana, I can shoot that one down as well. But there's a plethora of other companies out there, and I can't say who it is.
Oh, understandable.
But fingers crossed that it actually happens, and like it'd be exciting because then it's like, oh, well, you want to see how talented CG is? Boom. Publishers still want to publish CG stuff.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty exciting, and this concern might be ungrounded, but I was kind of worrying that it might be a situation similar to the Brettweisers, where they had this big old Walmart deal, and they.
No, I'm peanuts. I'm not doing Walmart. I'm peanuts, and honestly, I said the Brettweisers, they made their own company and stuff. I'm not really making my own company. I'm not trying to change, truly revolutionize the comic industry. I'm trying to entertain, make a book, right? I'm part of a movement that is pretty great. But I'm not trying to like go to every Walmart across America, right? I'm not trying to create that platform. The Brettweisers did that. I thought it was cool. I think they are kind of failing a little bit, and I think their company. I'm not going to say anything bad about their company. They have amazing people for the company, but they have issues, right? Especially with like issue 3 not coming out until March now. Come on now.
Oh dear, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, they're doing a relaunch because of like holidays and COVID, And I get, like, they kind of did the whole Walmart thing right as COVID happened, and it messed them up. I get that.
That part didn't help. But
I get that, but like, you're also 2 years late on Red Rooster, my dude. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to be 2 years late or a year late on Unstitched. And like, I should have the books at my home by January. The only thing that would delay it is if some crazy COVID lockdown happens, and if it does, backers will know through an update. But I don't plan on being late.
Right.
And if I am, like, that is more or less the only reason why. And I think that's an acceptable reason. And it's not even it'd be like, hey, the printer shut down because, like, they had a COVID outbreak. I gotta wait. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the sad part of the whole Brett Weiser thing was that they released content for a book that was crowdfunded, and it essentially went to the general public, and the backers of the campaign that brought in this influx of money of support, they never got the book fulfilled to the backers.
Yeah, see, I will always do, again, like what Brian Polito does. At crowdfund, I will fulfill crowdfunding. Months later, would the publisher ever publish? Right?
Good deal.
Same thing with again, just because I put them, I won't say on a pedestal, but I look up to them, right? Mark Pellegrini and Tim Lim, with Black Hops in Common America, they do the same thing. They crowdfund, they print, they ship them out themselves, and then, like, later down the line, Antarctic Press takes the book, breaks down their book into issues, and then they print, right? But the crowdfunded book, which is always going to be a higher quality, better paper, better covers, cool extras, right? That goes first, because people bought directly from you because they believe in you. They want the cream of the crop, the cream of the cream, right? and that's what you deliver.
But who is it that Lim and the other guy published through after?
Antarctic Press.
Oh, okay. They use Antarctic, right?
Yeah. And I get some people protested Antarctic Press for a while because they canceled Richard Meyer's deal.
Right.
But lawsuits, courts are happening, and I don't fully blame Antarctic for doing that. Like, I understand the reason why. And I don't think it was fully their choice, and that's for the courts to decide.
Yeah.
But they do have some great stuff. Punchline, Common America, Rags if you want censored titties, but if you want the uncensored, you could have bought their Indiegogo, Kickstarter, or go on Patreon. I mean, I highly suggest the uncensored version. But Antarctic Press has a censored version because they're like, we can't have full on nudity. Come on,
Whoa,
put like a logo, put a logo on it or something. And that's what they do. They have like bunny logos that cover and censor things. But they have also Punchline from like Matt Whedon, amazing artist. And honestly, screw you, DC. That's the real Punchline. It came out first. It's an amazing character, amazing book, and it's been out for years. I don't care about your Harley Quinn 2.0 Asian version Punchline. It's not Punchline. Antarctic Press has Punchline. Deal with it. So like, it's like, that's how it should be, right? Even with like Sweetcast, crowdfund, publish, ship it, publisher does it later. If you have that deal, that should just be gravy. They shouldn't get their books first.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll always make sure the backers of my campaign are taken care of first. And in fact, because it's Christmas, it's funny because I'm much like I did last Christmas. I'm asking for Gemini mailers again. They're like, but you bought something. I'm like, yeah, but I need more. Why? Because I always need more. Because I plan on doing this for like years to come, and I need more. That's what I want for Christmas. You don't understand how excited I was last Christmas to open up a box that had boxes in them. And I was like, next year I'll have a book, and these will be useful.
Are you sure you're not secretly a furry? A cat who loves to play with boxes?
No, I like collecting boxes.
Oh man,
I'm gonna build a fort one day with all the boxes I have.
I thought at one point that with all the CG projects I back, that I take the boxes and save them because one of these days I'd reuse them for my own. As cheap as that is, but then they started stacking up real high, and it's like, oh man, I got to do something with these boxes. So
I was planning on that, and then because I live in the country, we do bonfires, and I'm like, well, we need things, and these things are kind of stacked up, and also some of the stuff's like, yeah, I can peel off the stamp paper that has my address, but then it kind of like makes the whole box look tacky, and but apply a new stamp on it, it's still gonna be like, we know you reused a box. What is this? What is this?
Exactly. Yeah, that's
So
true.
I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna burn these boxes. I want this fire to be bigger. It's
bonfires are fun.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you got the featured tier, which is cool. Always great to have a featured tier, because it's it draws your eye, and it's the cool thing is it's like the best bang for your buck. You don't have the cheapest tier, you don't have the most expensive. It's somewhere in the middle. So with this one, you get both covers, a poster, and a mini print. So that's pretty sweet.
Yep, and I will be getting the posters and mini print here shortly.
All right, nice.
Yep, the power of Cyber Monday deals is I was able to get those things even cheaper.
Really? Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Yep, that's kind of also why I was like, my ship date is January, so I can kind of wait until Cyber Monday. The strategic part, because I was like, what? I can get posters like 60% off. Yeah, I'm a overprint on posters to sell later at like cons or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea. Would the deals on Cyber Monday be better than the deals on Black Friday?
Well, a lot of the printers, like, it's a whole weekend thing.
All right.
And in fact, some other printers were like from Cyber Monday to like basically this Friday had like a Cyber Week, but Cyber Monday itself, I had like posters like 60% off.
Oh dang, sweet.
Yeah. So I was like,
nice.
What I spent getting all the posters and mini prints done.
Uh-huh.
And the amount I did, because I have like 250 of the posters, 200 mini prints, and 200 of the other mini print. So that's like 450, right? Of like posters and mini prints put together. What I spent getting all of that on Cyber Monday would have been what I was quoted for just getting the posters themselves. And it was actually a smaller amount. I think it would have been like 100 less.
Oh.
So I was able to get 100 more posters and mini prints for the same price. So I'm like, what? So that money's, which it works out because it's the backup money. So if I'm able to, and it's not like me being cheap getting a lesser product, it's me being smart with it. So then I can invest with the next part, so even more production can happen. The more money I save, the more I can find like an artist for a variant cover for the next one. I have a short list of who I want to do a variant for. I'm not reaching out though to any variant cover artists until like book 1 is completely done and shipped, and then I fully know what my profits are.
Gotcha.
And then I can go, okay, now it's time to get a variant cover artist, because I'm only going to do like one other cover, kind of like I did with this, 2 different covers. That's it. Boom.
Yeah.
We've seen Enrico's. We don't know who the mystery artist for the next one is because it hasn't been decided. And I also need to know what price points are for these artists. I can't have an artist that's like, yeah, I'll do a cover for 5,000. Like, what? I ain't got that J. Lee money. I'm sorry.
I'll do a variant cover for $1 million.
My Ethan Van Sciver. What? I don't even think he charges that much.
No, I don't think so either.
But you see these like original art pieces sell for like 10,000 for like some of the bigger names, and I'm like, I can't pay that. I can't pay that.
Yeah,
I didn't even make that. I can't pay that.
As much as I love the original art, some of that is way, way, way out of my.
Oh yeah.
budget.
Like the first time I saw an original art piece that sold for like 10,000 was at a Comic-Con last year, and it was Peach Momoko is her name, a Japanese artist. Marvel actually recently signed her, and she's gonna be doing like variant covers for them. She's an amazing cover artist.
Oh.
Her art is like, I understand. I think she is like this generation, like J. Scott Campbell, when it comes to like cover art. Man, her original was sold for like 10,000. I went by her booth and I went, nope. I would need to call my bank for a loan before buying your art. You are essentially a car. That's what you are. Like, this isn't art. You're selling cars at a comic convention. You are selling cars, lady. Nope. I'm sorry. I ain't got 10 G's.
What? So was she herself actually present at the convention, or was
it was her and I think her boyfriend, who also helps like translate for her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like I saw her. I got her autograph.
Oh, nice.
I did not buy her original art because I was like, you are out of my price range. Because she did, because also like Kevin Eastman was there last year. Because cons were a thing last year. But she did the cover art for the convention. And obviously it was like Ninja Turtle themed because on the cover, because of Eastman being there, and he was the big draw. But Momoko did the cover, and it was dope. I wish I could look it up. I wish I had like the thing available. I guess I can Google.
When you got her signature, did she charge for her signature? Or did she do like a little doodle or sketch along with the signature?
I didn't get like a doodle or sketch. It was more or less just, you know what, boom.
Or you just like handed her your notebook or something and she signed it?
Yeah, I more or less handed her like my little guide thing, and she signed it. And you know, obviously, like her English wasn't the best last year, because she is from Japan.
Right.
You know what? I'm so mad. I wish. Hold up. Let me see if I can open image in a new tab. Here we go. I will like share screen, and you can see how dope her art is, because it is dope. Hold up. Where'd it go? Boom. Her doing like the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wow.
She even did the crow on top of the robot, because James O'Barr was there, the writer and the creator of the crow.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, that's a nice touch. But you see, her covers are dope. They're freaking amazing. And like this original art piece was like for sale for like 10,000, and I was like, you're too rich for my blood.
Wait, so the character in the middle is actually a robot? I'm trying to.
Yeah. Well. All right. So in North Carolina, it was at like Durham. And like Durham, like big symbol in that city is like a bull.
Okay.
So like that explains like the like you know
Okay.
bovine head, and then it's kind of just like in a cybernetic-ish thing. It just looks cool. I don't know exactly if that character is from something, but I just know the crow on top is for James O'Barr, and then obviously Kevin Eastman was the big draw for the Comic-Con.
Right. Okay. Oh, I
But
see his
is
arm
yeah,
and legs. Okay. And then
yep,
I guess the big black pieces are shoulder armor.
yeah,
And then
yeah, like shorter armor.
the head is under that red dome.
Yep,
All right.
yep. It's more or less kind of like I think like the Durham Bulls are like a thing in baseball or whatever. But you know, just kind of like the city bull um, mascot, since the Comic Con was at like Durham, and then you know, obviously everything else kind of related to the con. But you know, and I really loved that piece, and I was like, I'm not going to ask my bank for a loan to get this piece, or like sell a kidney. What? No. What is this? 10,000? Get out of here.
Is this traditional art?
Yeah. No, it was traditional.
Wow. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
kind
I like.
of
I
traditional?
understand.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like, I understand. Well, I don't. I'm trying to remember. I think some of the coloring was traditional. Like on the characters, but not quite all of the background.
Because
Um.
in order to pull off all that rain
Yeah.
in traditional, I imagine would be time consuming and
Yeah.
aggravating.
But at the Comic Con, I did get a head sketch from James O'Barr of the Crow. That's
Oh,
hanging in my room. Like that's dope.
oh,
And
nice.
there's rain on that, and it's funny because uh, when it comes to rain, he was just like, it's amazing how great and how cheap whiteout is, and how
Nice.
effective it can be. Yep, like because he draw, you know, obviously the Crow's black and white,
Uh-huh.
the comic, and he drew like black and white and most sketch you get from a Comic-Con is gonna be black and white, like, and then like gray is done with marker. And then like near the end, he just kind of like took a white out, shook it up, and then just like that's how he made the thing.
That sounds like how some people might do snow.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks so dope, and like obviously he knows what he's doing.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, he also like, and he openly is like, this saves so much on cost than just getting a white marker to do this.
He said that to you?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, it does the same thing. $2 I can get this and do a bunch, or I can spend like $15 on a marker.
Oh man, amazing stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be a trip to have been there to witness that in person. So digital,
I want to read this story. I want to back it.
But I don't
times are a little bit tight because of like, loved one was laid off, or hey, at a time I was laid off and I'm just getting back to work, so I don't really feel comfortable dropping like for the book plus shipping, which is like $30-ish, $35, from the shipping. But I'll get a digital. Plus, cool. I honestly like the way I view it is, I know some people don't like digital because they're like, oh, but it affects like the book, or it devalues the book. To me, it doesn't devalue the book, because the way I view digital is it's all profit, more or less.
Yeah.
Like it literally gives me no expense besides just making the book.
Yeah, I don't see it being that could devalue the physical copy.
Yeah, but I've heard those claims before. I'm like, if anything, it might add more value because I might lower the print run now. Or I could increase the print run like a little bit on the main cover and still keep the variant low. It doesn't, and that's probably what I'll do. But I'm like, the digital, that's more or less like 28 times 8. Like that's what, 280 something like that, more or less. To something dollars. That's just like, that's all gravy, baby.
Right.
Plus, and it's not on the campaign, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Anyone who got a physical copy of the book will also get a free digital version as well. Nice little backup or whatever. So and then I think that also helps justify if you get a physical, you're gonna get a digital as well. So, higher price point, you're getting a better quality book. You're getting a digital backup. And then for the digital people, cool thing about the digital is you're still gonna see the fan art. Like the fan art section will be in the digital as well.
Yeah.
And exactly. And like that's what I'm also hoping for is like once you read it, like you paid that $8, you got your feet wet. You're like, okay, cool. No, the story's legit. I'm gonna now buy that physical because I want that on my shelf now. Like I know the book is great. I know the art is great. I want to physically own this. So now, congratulations, you've bought the book twice. So instead of spending like $35 for shipping, you've now spent like $40 because you bought a digital first, and then you bought a physical. I'm a mastermind.
As he twirls his mustache. Welcome, Kino Subway.
Yep. Hello, Kino.
Oops.
But I did get a message from the printer The posters and mini prints will arrive like next week.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, like the posters are already being like. I got a message yesterday like, "Yep, they're being shipped," and I was like, "Dang, I feel like Cyber Monday was only like Monday." That's
That seems a
for
little
you.
fast.
Like one day you got it done. I'm so happy.
Uh,
But you know, it's posters. It's not as hard or as tedious as like printing a book.
right, right. But the fact that it's when you order posters and stuff, do you just uh, send them the digital file and hope that it'll come out properly, or do they actually send you a single, like a sample, so that you have a feel
No,
for whether you have to make any adjustments?
I mean, I just did like the digital and like the digital preview because it's a poster. You can't really. I don't think really we'll send a sample of like, oh yeah, here's like that one poster. Now order the bulk. Now for like the books, I'm gonna get obviously a physical like beta thing. That way I can double check, make sure everything's right. I know they do that straight up for like books. What's up, Froggo? Frogman of the Frogland, of the ponds.
He's got a Santa hat on.
So like the books will obviously like get a test book. So everything's right, everything's checked for, pages are in the right place because I know that happened with Tyler. Of like Draw and Talk. With his last campaign, and luckily, like that's why we do the physical proof, right? Because in his physical proof, he saw that they mixed up pages. He was like, "Yo, why is page like 57 right here on page 5?"
Oh dear! Wow. That's a bizarre mix up.
Yeah. But that's why we do the physical copies.
Yep.
He was able to catch that, get it worked, and then by the time he actually printed and shipped the actual book, everything was just peaches and cream.
Nice. Then you got the Unstitched poster.
Yep.
Was this available as an add-on as well?
No, because mostly I just kind of figured it out.
Because I would expect this to be selling like hotcakes.
But you know what though? What people have done is they've gotten the Dreamer tier instead, and the Dreamer tier you're gonna get that same poster.
Oh.
So for like the Dreamer tier, for $55, right? You're essentially getting like you're essentially buying both books and like the poster for like $5, plus getting a mini print on top of that. And like mini prints typically at a cons are what, like $5-6?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So more or less, you're buying like both books and a mini print, and you're getting a free poster.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
So like I'm happy people are buying the Dreamer tier instead because it's just more money.
Yeah, and it's a great value.
Yep.
Sure.
Then we have Laura's copy. 41 people have claimed that. I'm so happy, and it just I don't know. It makes me happy. I really love her cover because I love covers that tell a story, and I mean this does. You have the darkness swarming around them. You have them like standing like they're about to face the darkness. You have like the hierarchy, as I mentioned, of like the darkness, boogeyman, like monster in the closet. So you have that like nice totem pole effect. And then we have Jason Brubaker's cover, which everyone loves. Everyone should love. I am surprised that only 37, like Laura, has beaten him, which makes me happy. And yes, I am fancy with my cool mustache. I can grow a very fancy mustache and live in a trailer.
Thinks he's
I
all.
was hoping to get more people. Well, I mean, obviously, I would have hoped for higher numbers. Obviously, this didn't happen. But I understand why some of it didn't happen. Was just I fell off the promotional wagon a few times for family reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Jason let me on his stream for like a little bit, but I was hoping he would have emailed his backers as well. He didn't, but you know, nothing's a demand. Everything is a delightful consideration and pleasantry. Nothing is an obligation. In fact, he let me on his stream, and I was grateful for that alone. I know I got a few people on their stream that's backed my book. You know, his mailing list is huge and vast, and I was hoping for that. But you know, even if he did, maybe I would have gotten someone. Maybe I wouldn't. I know like Sebastian Jones with his last campaign prior to ruining Christmas with Niobe. He emailed his Kickstarter people. He had like over 800 people to back his book. None of them backed. So, you know, it's no guarantee anyways, even if Jason did. And I'm just happy and honored to get like one of my favorite people, and that was on my bucket list, to do a cover for me. Oh my God, it just makes me happy. His cover's dope. His cover's dope.
Well, that's what I meant to ask. He actually had a chance to like hop on one of your streams before, or hop on a stream with you.
Actually went on his channel.
Oh, okay, all right.
Very early on when I launched, I took off work one day. Unfortunately, when I was on his channel, was like it wasn't very long. Because he was changing his channel up. So, you know, he was trying to get on his regular guests. He was changing up his show format on his channel.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, it feels very weird because his channel is very cool and like very chill, and like everyone's just kind of drawing and they like casually talk and joke, but it's more like drawing and showing stuff off. And, you know, if you just want to have like a very chill and just see a master at his craft work, it's a great channel. And I'm like, yeah, so I have a book that y'all should buy. Everyone's drawing stuff, and I'm just like, I felt like the tax-return people at the side of the road just kind of like waving a sign going, yeah, buy my book. And everyone's like, this is a law office. We don't care about tax returns. We don't care. We can do our own taxes. Like, but you know, it was a great stream. I was happy. And it was like the first time talking to him. He's a wonderful person.
Cool.
I do have a retail bundle with buyback.
Yeah,
I think this is one of my favorite tiers.
that's freaking amazing.
Like I'm so confident in my book, right? That if a shop's like, I can't sell this, you're just not a big name, and like whatever, blah 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 blah. I'm like, that's cool. I'll buy the book. Like, it's all reward and no risk. Like you're getting 6 books, 3 of each, 6 mini prints, at a discounted price. And honestly, if people who aren't even a shop want to, they can buy this. And then they're like, for $80, this is Christmas. I bought 6 books, 6 mini prints for $80 for Christmas or after Christmas, because it's gonna be like January when I ship this. But you know, they can be like, boom. They can be like, oh, what? Santa messed up. We got this, and you get a book, and you get a book, and you get a book, and you get a book.
Everyone gets a book.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a hell of a deal for that retail bundle with buyback.
Yep. Yep.
And like you said, you've got the option if you change your mind, I guess. I don't know why, but you accept buybacks.
Yeah. So
it's returnable.
Yep. Fully returnable. And if it wasn't for COVID, because obviously the whole plan was, like, because I live in North Carolina, right? State above me is Virginia, state below me is South Carolina. If any shop from there bought it, which one shop from North Carolina has, you know, I would have went to them, help promote if they bought it, be like, yeah, you know, look, the creator's here, he'll sign the book, he'll do something, you know, meet him, buy his book. But because of COVID, I know a lot of shops are like, we don't really want people here. You know.
Well, my local.
Well, I mean, they do, but they don't want like large gatherings and stuff like that.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know, special events, you know, COVID restrictions. And
yeah.
I know Virginia's kind of strict on COVID. South Carolina, I have no idea. And North Carolina, like the country I live at, is very relaxed. But then I know like Raleigh's very strict. So it's, you know, where you're at, big city, small town, whatever.
Right, yeah. I'm not sure what the restrictions are for comic book shops.
Yeah. And I know some shops are like, so the shop I go to, they don't really care at all. Like no one wears a mask.
Right.
They don't care. Like they've been open like normal. The only thing that they're like is like, yeah, some foot traffic has slowed down a bit. You know, and obviously when Diamond shut down, they were ahead a little bit, but you know, it's whatever. But then like my friends who live in Raleigh, which is like the state capital, their comic shop has like a dude who seems like a bouncer. He's like, no, you can't come in. We're at the limit. You can't come in. You can't come in.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, you gotta wait. You gotta wait.
Oh, that's just sad. Yeah, mine is like, excuse me, is like, you know, as long as you don't have it, I don't care if you wear a mask or not. And
yeah,
the first time I stopped in, it was like he temporarily closed for maybe a couple months around the time Diamond announced they were kind of imploding, I guess.
Yeah.
They were collapsing in on itself, and they didn't want to pay any of their debts. But then my LCS reopened maybe 3 weeks ago now, and a visit I made following that first one, after not having been there a while, he was wearing a mask that time around, but I think it was with respect some of his more picky customers.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Honestly, I think whatever a business wants to do should be how their business runs. Yeah. I don't think government mandates should be a thing.
Right.
But if a business is like, hey, you don't wear a mask, you can't come in, I respect that. That's, you know, a business has its own rights and policies it can do.
Yeah.
My shop just doesn't care. And I'll probably do a signing with them, but you know, I know other shops, it could be like, yeah, no, we're just not having any guests right now.
Well, you know, if their foot traffic has diminished, then it might fall within the restrictions and work out.
Well, I mean, it slowed down at the beginning when like done, but it's picked back up to like normal.
Mm.
I think so my shop is good, but I know other shops again. The biggest cities are more strict. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, my absolute favorite tier is actually this next tier.
Before we go into that,
Yeah.
Joe Frago says he's naked.
Well, he's probably also wet because he's an amphibian. So
Yeah, well, that's true.
I also want to put that in your mind. Not only is he naked, he's probably wet. Oh.
Mananui says, we do not need to know that, Frago. Kino says, I understand it's a really nice looking mustache and all, but keep your pants on, Frago.
It only tickles a little.
Yeah, I was expecting this to, be pretty popular as well.
I do too. I'm probably, not probably. I'm gonna mention it tomorrow as well. But anyone who buys a children hospital bundle, I'm gonna be doing a drawing for them, and so you're gonna get a sketch from me, not Laura, obviously, but you're gonna get a sketch from me. That's probably all you're gonna get, but so it won't be like on the campaign. It says St. Jude's because of COVID. Typically St. Jude's doesn't take any physical donations anyways. They don't take cash, or they don't take money. But profits of this will go to go to children's hospitals. But Duke's Children's Hospital near me, because they're like a state children's hospital,
Okay.
they're still taking donations, like physical ones. So books will go to Duke's Children's Hospital. It will also go to Boys and Girls Club as well. And there's a child therapist who has actually asked about my book, and I'm gonna give her like a couple of books as well.
Oh wow, that's cool. Reached out for a child therapist. Nice.
Yep.
That's pretty cool that you had that reach.
Yep. So like this tier it's a charity tier. The only thing you're gonna get is you're gonna get a drawing from me. And honestly, I don't make any money from this tier. I only make what I need to cover the cost of printing the book. Profits go to the respective charities, whether it be like St. Jude's, Duke's Children's Hospital, Boys or Girls Club. They're gonna get the money. They're gonna get the books. You're gonna get it. All you get is you're gonna get a drawing, and I will also write you a thank you note as well.
That's cool.
Because honestly, so children need stories of hope, dreams, imagination. And for the most part, if you're at like Boys and Girls Club or like especially like Duke's Children's Hospital, you're not having the best time. So if you can just escape for even 30 minutes into a story, it doesn't change the situation, but hopefully it helps alleviate just a little bit. And that was because you wanted to provide entertainment to a kid in need. So, for all of those that do back it, thank you, bless you, you're amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that one as well.
So, and it's only like $100, like $10 shipping, which really, it's not even like I'm gonna ship it. I'm gonna hand it to them.
Nice.
I have a fuel efficient car, which means that's even more money going to them.
So I always love catching campaigns when they have the sold out tiers so that I can see what I missed out on, because that's always fun.
I don't think you missed out on this because you bought one, my sir, my dear sir. I don't remember what number it is without checking the thing, but you bought one.
Yeah, I did in this case. A big dreamer. That included the Boogeyman doll, which is pretty.
Yep. And certificate, which the certificate I came up with that idea later, just because again, just adds that quality of professionalism.
Yeah, it's a nice addition. It's kind of reminiscent of when you buy a doll that has a birth certificate, like Cabbage Patch Kid.
Yep. Honestly, I thought of it because of when at the Disney store, there's like limited action figures or dolls that's like, oh, this is one out of like 600, and it has like the little, you get the card with it to let you know what number you are, and I was like, I can do that.
Yeah. Nice.
And then we had the only original piece of art, which was the poster that has been sold. And in fact, the person already has it because my dad bought it. My dad bought it.
Yeah, that's true.
My dad bought it. Went, I'm taking this, and he's already framed it. And I was like, well, okay then. Congratulations. I guess I'm already fulfilling perks months in advance.
Oh my God.
Look at me go. I'm already doing stuff. Look. So that's why you should back Unstitched. Books aren't even printed yet, and things are already been fulfilled.
Yep. Yeah. That's a fact. That's something you can claim that other creators can't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that as soon as I saw it, well, actually, it had already been sold.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think he only bought it like on like day 2, or day 3, because when I launched, I think it was like a Wednesday or Thursday, because I launched on my birthday. And then I think he bought it like that Friday, which, like I said, might have been like a day or 2 later.
That's crazy.
But it made me happy that I was like, cool, original art sold within like 3 days. Woo woo. And then I saw the name and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think he told me he wanted to keep it in the family. And yeah, it's a definite score for sure. Because if I'd seen it, I probably would have picked it up. If I campaign soon enough, that is.
Yeah, man. I've had a few people tell me, man, I wanted to get this, and then some people were like, original art for like $160, like that is mad cheap, and I was like, it's only the back cover. It's not like an actual like it. It's going to be on the back of the book,
right? But
poster. Also, like my friend did it as like fan art, and he did amazing, and I bought it from him. And my friend, he's not a comic artist. He's more or less just we went to school together for animation. He now does like graphic design stuff, but it's not like, oh, comic artist Caleb, and people go, oh, I know who that guy is. Oh boy, I'm really so I made it a bit cheap, but I'll probably make it like 200 next time, just because people said it felt like I was lowballing. Like I'm like, all right, then if he does another one where it's because like the color is that you see, that's on the paper, because he colored it in marker. The good fancy artist marker, but It's what he does. So
Sweet.
next time I'll jack the price up just a little bit to like 200 and be like, all right, well, let's see. He's gonna be doing another one, which will also be the back cover for the next one as well. Maybe someone else will buy it besides my dad.
That's pretty funny how it says it's 160 USD, and then in crossed out red it says $161 USD.
Yeah,
off.
because it wouldn't let me do like just 160 because it's like Indiegogo wants you to make it seem like you're giving a discount on everything.
Right.
Which it's a psychological aspect to it, which
Right.
I understand.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my reasons of failure. If you look at like the Laura cover or the Jason Brubaker cover, it says like 99% off because I tried being too smart. And by the way, Indiegogo only wants like whole dollars. It wants no change. And I tried being so smart and going, well, I'll do like $25.01. No. It then said, oh, did you mean $2,500? So congratulations, you're getting like a $2,500 book for $25. Yeah, like not.
That is a steal. Back this book now.
Yeah, back this book now. Like the book's worth like $2,000.
Yeah.
The book's already worth $2,000, and you're getting it for $25. Like why wouldn't you do that?
Exactly.
Look at it. The 99% off. Why would Indiegogo lie? Like that's obviously wasn't an error of me trying to do like a penny, trying to be smart and cute, and it backfiring on me. No, the book's $2,000, but I'm selling it for $25. I'm a mad lad.
Indeed. Oh my gosh, that's a crack up. Oh my gosh. Let's play the trailer once more, and then we shall wrap it up.
Fear takes form in the darkness. The darkness feeds off screams. Fear is the enemy of childhood wonderment, built on hopes and dreams. So remember, in the terror of night, to protect the child, protect the light. Try not to become unstitched.
Hi, I'm Dutton, writer and creator of Unstitched. It's a brand new story that was created by inspiration of my niece, my love of 80s, like dark, gritty Don Bluth films. And in fact, that's what Unstitched is. It's a dark fantasy, all ages story. It's a mix of Rise of the Guardians, Toy Story, and Coraline, all put together. I have a talented, wonderful artist named Laura Rimbas-Humberty. She's even doing one of the covers. The other cover is a variant done by the highly talented Jason Brubaker. You know him from The Mind, from Sithra, plenty of other things. Unstitched, part 1 of 2 is coming out soon. It's going to be 48 pages, with part 2 being 50-something pages later on. We got some cool tiers with the book, besides just getting 1 or 2 covers. You can either get this as a poster. This original art piece will also be for sale. And if you don't get the poster, this will also be the back cover as well. We have a mini print that's going to be on the higher tiers, like the 150 tier, which this is going to be a teddy bear based off the Boogeyman with the glow-in-the-dark eyes, limited to 10. You get both covers, this poster, and a mini print. the bear that John Malin himself, the coach, called Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah. Did you make that trailer yourself?
I have a wonderful friend that made the trailer. I kind of did a rough like sketch of like ideas of transitioning and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I had a loose script. And in fact, we were at her place. Like, there's a YouTube channel called what is it? Night of All Trades, which is like her and her boyfriend's YouTube channel. They do unboxing of like different statues, and like holy crap, their apartment is so filled with statues. Like those statues weren't mine; those were all his. That was in the background behind me. And trust me, the other side of the room has another bookshelf. His hallways have bookshelves. It's insane. But I went to school with them. She's a film student. She does editing for a living, for like small businesses in the area. Night of All Trades is their YouTube channel.
Night of
no, Nerd. Yeah. Yep, there it is, the diamond right there at the top. Yeah, I don't think they doing too much lately, but it's mostly unboxing statues, and he'll even give you some like cool background information on like the character and stuff if you didn't know.
Wow.
But good friends of mine from college, wonderful people. I recommend watching their stuff, and especially if you want to see like cool statues. And if you're just into like comic statues, he'll tell you like which companies do better quality than other companies, which ones are worth like the bang for the buck.
Cool. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, man. Some of the statues that they make are hella cool.
Some are, and some are just so hella expensive.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's that. and then there's some that I wonder how they even got it past the QA, because when the paint is off, and like if you got a character with hair, the hair isn't fully painted, or it's got the paint that belongs on the clothing, and
yeah, it's a job I'm glad I don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Although, I do hope in the future to make unstitched like small figures, but that's if I'm saving up extra money. Besides, like I have my bills. I separate my money in like 3 pots now. I have my bills, I have my artists, and then like a small, tiny portion, like basically pocket change, goes into a jar. And I'm like, one day I'll get a 3D printer. Hopefully next year I'll get a 3D printer. And then I can make my own like little figures for Unstitched, like in 2022. That'd be dope.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
They probably won't be painted, and they, it'll be like, here's a all white version. You can paint it yourself, I guess. I'm not Ethan Van Sciver. I'm not making $1 million. I can't give a toy like that. But
yet.
But I can do something cool and unique with stretching $1 as far as possible.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you the floor. Will you share with the world how you can be found on social media?
If you follow the mustache, you will find me.
Follow the mustache.
praise to the mustache. All right. So in truth, you can follow me on Twitter at Justin Dutton 18. Yes, that is me. Yep. All right. And every Friday night, for the most part, unless I'm doing something, I am on YouTube at Forest Publishing with Richard Ombre and J Money and crew. And if you want to, you can even find me on Facebook. Just type in Justin Dutton. You'll see my ugly mug and be like, you should really put a new picture up because that mustache is glorious. Why don't you have a picture of just the mustache? Come on now. And you can follow or find me hopping on Sunday nights. Writing Prose, Red Valkyrie, season 2 starting up. I am on that one on almost every Sunday, or most Sundays. A good amount of those shows.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
and you know, that's a good writing. Find out what we think about different writing topics. I think Sunday is going to be about ego. So praise me and
back my book. Back
on Stitch.
Exactly.
And if you haven't yet, like, subscribe, and give WyzGyz a follow, because he's a gracious and dope host who I felt like I took up way too much of his time because the mad lad has 6 streams tomorrow. He's gonna need like a Red Bull. Come on.
Oh, you're good.
Maybe a bump of cocaine. Who knows?
Oh my goodness gracious. I don't need cocaine. I'm high on life. What are you talking about?
Kenny, you're getting too high off life. Sniffing those flowers too high, Kenny. Oh God, you killed Kenny. Life. That was a whole episode.
Oh, good gracious. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment. You can check me out on Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets. And I'm on other social media platforms as well. I won't go into any detail. But you can find it, all that good stuff, in my YouTube About section. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications. Hopefully you'll get notified by YouTube if I'm not on their naughty list. And drop some comments down below this video and let us know what you're most looking forward to with Unstitched Part 1. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thanks to everyone who watches this on replay. And thanks to our very special guest, Justin Dutton.
It means special in a good way, not that I'm dumb.
Exactement. All right, closing out in 3, 2.
Final guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.